Hi, it's Joe Sweeney here from IBRS. Now, in the previous video, I outlined the burning rabbit syndrome and why you need a mobility solution delivery framework. In this video, I'm going to outline some of the things that you might want to think about with that. But first, let's think about why you want one. What's the purpose of this? Well, there's four key things that a mobility solution delivery framework will give you. The first one is that it supports your mobility strategy. Now, I hope you have a mobility strategy. If you do not, you do need to get one. And the easiest way of getting one is to contact us or go to our website and download our Sustainable Enterprise Mobility Strategy Framework. That'll give you everything you need to actually go out to your workforce, understand what really needs to get done around mobility, understand what the quick wins might be, but more importantly, understand the big use cases that you will want to address. So the next thing that your mobility solution delivery framework will give you is guidance around who gets to make what decisions and what decisions need to be made. And this is obviously really important because it keeps your organization targeted, keeps you focused around the innovations that will actually drive business change. So what needs to be in your mobility solution delivery framework? Well, when I develop these with our clients, I always include these 7 sections. The first one is the introduction. And what that does is it ties your delivery framework into the strategic imperatives that you've already discovered in your mobility strategy. And those also are linked back to your higher level ICT strategy. It also has to outline what the purpose of this framework is, and so you need to make the case, like I have with the burning rabbit syndrome, about why this is important. In section 2, what we do is we look at the governance, and we like to bring governance right up front. But wait, you might be thinking, I've already got too much governance in my organization. I'm just bound up by red tape. That's not the governance we're talking about. We do know that mobility projects have a different governance profile from many other ITC projects. And the reason for that is they tend to be, in some cases, they can be perceived to be quick wins, like that little rabbit, or they can be quite complex beasts that touch a lot of different endpoints and a lot of different systems. And so there are different types of governance that you need. You then need to have a section on architecture, and this is where things get very interesting. A lot of organizations focus on a technical architecture, thinking that their mobility environment is just one big collection of apps. It's not. It's actually much better to use what we call generalized use cases that are, in some ways you can think of them about work context or even a form of persona, but they have it's basically a large selection of work processes that are similar in nature that can be solved with one broad architecture. So you may actually find that your mobility delivery framework actually has 3, 4, or even 5 different architectures that all come up into a master architecture. And once you've got that, you're really on the home stretch. In section 4, we move on to yet another technical layer. We're getting a little bit deeper. That's where we start to talk about the mobility standards. Now, we obviously need architectural standards and infrastructure standards and so forth, but data standards are very important, as are process standards, security standards and so forth. You need to understand what those connections are, not just for mobility, but also extending out to the rest of the organization. In section 5, we talk about what we call configuration standards. Now, really what that is how do you configure and control the data, the applications, and the devices? At one level, you're going to be talking about MDM, or mobile device management solutions, but it's really a bit broader than that. You need to understand how that's going to fit with the greater end-user compute environment. Section 6, we then talk about the mobility application development lifecycle. Now, we all know that many mobility projects are executed with an agile or a pseudo-agile approach, and that's probably correct, but you need to get this documented and you need to understand what type of mobility initiative, in other words, what generalized use case will use what type of life cycle. Finally, you need to look at the service management. And this is where you look at how you're going to engage with vendors, how you're going to engage with the marketplace, and in fact, how the business itself will be acquiring their own mobility standards and initiatives and indeed solutions. So there's a lot there. The good news is I've written a great little paper that sort of summarizes this for you in quite a bit more detail, and we also have a template. So if you do need to get a bit of a kickstart in this, please call your IBRS account rep or give me a buzz on LinkedIn and let me know, and I'll make sure that you get a copy. Thank you very much. You have a lovely day, and please avoid those burning rabbits.